Welcome everyone to Dragon's Dream of Scorched Sheep. My name's Gadget, and I'm not your DM for the evening because we're having our end of Season 2 wrap-up as the party successfully managed to escape Endelo's Rest after dealing with a godlike creature, and probably killing everybody in the process, but, you know, nobody's perfect. You know, things happen to people. So I guess the first thing is, how did you all find Season 2?
Long.
Challenging.
Yeah.
Stressful.
Threw some stuff at us there, like.
Oh, absolutely.
Again, my character didn't die. I'll come close to death. Really?
No, he came pretty close to death in that last episode.
Yeah, 15 HP. That's close. I'm fine. Again, my plans have always come through.
Fuck off. So, just giving the general recaps. The season started off with you all escaping into Morin after the, shall we say, unfortunate encounter with Minerva. You were all betrayed and left for dead, and then attacked in the desert. You found some pirates with a flying ship who were all skeletons.
Yeah, my boys.
Your boys.
Lovely pirates. Lovely pirates.
Lovely pirate boys. You wound up in Endelo's Rest, a city inside a mountain in the middle of the desert. And then everything started to go a bit wrong. Starting with when Stig just killed somebody in cold blood.
I thought we were down an alleyway for some reason. I thought we'd chased down an alleyway.
And then you met some mind flayers.
They were nice.
You were reunited with Orapan.
Lovely boy.
You were Treble was reunited with Sebastian Graves.
Best character I've ever created.
Yes, you created him specifically, actually. That's not one of my specials. I just came up with the voice.
My favourite.
Apparently. And then, yeah, just kind of chaos started to unfold as you kind of destroyed the church, and then Capri and Calvo were taken.
Anti-establishment, aren't we? We're destroyed.
You really are. It's like
Destroy everything.
It's like, imagine insurance adjusters in this world. Just saying, oh, it's them lot again, innit?
Well, what happened was...
Yeah, but
proof.
I don't know about you guys, but this was a fun one for me to write because my intention with this season was to throw some challenges at you, but also just to like explore how weird D&D can be. Like, I didn't want to be in a situation where I was constantly throwing soldiers at you or a random wizard or something. I wanted to kind of really play and explore with what kind of monsters you can make. Like, everything about Kiralth was homebrewed. I made everything up for that. That was all. None of that's in D&D. That's just a conglomeration
I miss
of
fucking
things.
trees, guys. I ain't seen a tree in months.
You've been in the desert for quite a while.
I miss trees.
Do you know what? For the amount of time we spent in Delo's Rest, we didn't do much exploring. Like, the last season, we were kind of in a different location every episode, weren't we?
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting to spend this much time. So I feel like we probably missed an opportunity to explore a little bit, but
where we were there, though, that was just that one city in the desert, nothing else.
Yeah. Like the country.
Nothing to explore.
The country you're in, Morin, has like 12 cities. So, like, basically what my original intention was, and I ended up having to kind of adapt this as years went on because, to be honest, it just got too fucking funny to do it this way, was that you were going to bounce around the entire country a bit to find clues as to where Kiralth was. But Kiralth was always going to be underneath Endelo's Rest. But you kind of just happened upon the plot line of that one before it was supposed to be like this kind of hopping, like you go to one of this he's on the coast where it's a bit greener and there's water there. It's not as harsh an environment. You could cast magic, all that kind of thing. And yeah, you came back. But you just ended up kind of getting into it, and like I'll give you the kind of the clues and the hints about Elder Thoye, and you're all kind of like, we should really sort this out, or kind of follow into this one. And I was like, oh shit, he was supposed to be the big bad for a while, and you ended up killing him quite quickly.
Yeah.
Also, nothing funnier than your reactions to when I was doing Elder Thoye and his stammering.
It was funny. And especially when Capri tried to do an impression as well.
I thought I nailed it.
Oh, top tier acting.
Along with the Scottish accent.
Oh god, I forgot about your Scottish accent. You sent me with that one.
I didn't.
One of the highlights, I think.
Can I also just point out that for the kind of the ending, the episode that's just happened. I had written the ending of that very differently.
Yeah, we can tell.
I was not expecting Calbo to breathe fire into Millicent. So the way that encounter was set up, right? So you had the
saver.
You had the body monster kind of thing around Kirolf, and that had 500 HP. Each of the bodies on it had 5 HP. So you basically had to knock 100 bodies off it, or knock enough bodies off to expose Millicent's body in the middle. Once you had done that, it was supposed to get to a point where Kirolf in Millicent's body cast off the body monster thing, armored herself up with bones from Creighton's crew, and fought you using Millicent's character sheet. So basically, you would be fighting a cleric because Kirolf had access to Millicent's abilities. When you got that down to 0 HP, the soul of Millicent was going to come back and force Kirolf out in her dying breath, which was then when Proserpine would then get up and eat the soul. And
smashed it.
So Millicent's whole story was based around the fact that she wanted the Deck of Many Things to revive her family who had been killed.
I want that.
Just the family's souls were within Kirolf as part of the soul battery. This is how I'd written it. So what Millicent would have done at that point was basically freed the souls that Kirolf had taken, and she would have then died happy because her family had been released. But no, Biggie threw fire down her throat and exploded her.
Well, I thought we did really well. Now it feels awful.
Yeah, we never knew that was going to happen.
Got a boat out in it. Fuck 'em. It's character gone. Look, right. I made a mistake giving her away.
You did. I mean, you did. To be fair, you did.
But we've wrapped it up, haven't we?
Let's just ask then,
in a way,
if Oodles had never done that, what would have the arc?
We might have not even.
Then?
The thing is, Biggie, we decided to go where we went as well. We might have not even ended up in that country. We decided it.
I know, but I'm just curious about if.
So if
you hadn't done what had happened, her soul got taken, all that kind of thing. If
Oodles hadn't given her away, she would have been taken by the church in some way, shape, or form. Like, he was always going to end up in the situation where Millicent was with the Elder Thoye. That I'd kind of written like as soon as that had happened, effectively.
Just for the listeners' benefits as well. I don't tell Gadget when I've done my ideas. He doesn't know they're coming.
Oh no, it's a surprise every single fucking time. The whole thing with the pot in that last episode was insane.
You know where my head we're at, though.
No, the problem is it all makes sense.
Yeah.
Just not practical sense, it just makes sense for you. Like, oh yeah, that's a Noodles idea.
Yeah.
So aside from the episode we just recorded, does anyone have any distinct highlights or anything they want to bring up from this season?
Survival horror, mate. When I was in the cells.
Oh yeah.
That was a dark episode. It was frightening because you guys might not realise, but you were playing horrible music in my ear.
Oh yeah.
It was frightening.
Can I also just remind you about the point that me and Capri ended up sucked in by the tentacles and died?
Not pointing any fingers, but
It all worked out, didn't it?
I mean,
yeah.
Got a couple episodes out of it.
Your death wasn't Oodles' fault, Biggie.
Capri's was.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stig.
100%.
It weren't death. She didn't die. It was feigned death.
Yeah, it was fake anyway. Stop your bitching.
I love,
Come on.
I love the fact that not only did you have it attuned, but like most people accept that feigned death is one of the least applicable skills or spells in D&D. And not only did you have it, you managed to use it in a way that backfired. I love it. It was great.
You say about my plans failing and stuff, Biggie, but lest we forget, you were trying to swing aboard 2 ships that time on a rope, and you fell out of the sky.
You nearly died. You actually nearly died.
Yourself.
No,
Yeah, I didn't try and shoot the
saving
rope
rolls
because you were
twice
showboating.
You're in death saving rolls twice this season.
Nobody else has. Nobody else has.
It was,
Just
the plan
send
sounded
that on to you.
fine.
But it didn't work the
That's what it
first
sounds
time.
like in my head.
The plan didn't work the first time. Why did you think it would work the second time?
Content, mate.
You know what? Content, baby. You know it. Do you know what? I've got a strange feeling that if I just was planted into some other DM that didn't know me into his game,
Oh, you'd be kicked out of the game so quickly.
pissed off. You can't do that. You can't do that. That's too imaginative. Play the game. Play the game. It's all about winning. Fuck that. It's about fun and being stupid.
Exactly. That's why I attempted it the second time, because it would either have worked, and I would
I
have
was
done
trying
my
to shoot
Errol
the rope,
Flynn,
mate.
or exactly what happened again, which I didn't really think would happen, but it did.
Oh, that was an incredible moment.
I've just seen it. I've seen enough of sand. Let's get out of the sand. That's what I want for next season. No more sand for a while.
Yeah. Ugh.
I want some trees, man. I want some bears. I want some moose.
Some
Tree forest.
Some moose.
Squirrels. I don't know what's in this land.
If you look at rule 20, you'll be able to leave Morin now, which is where you currently are. So your choices are to go kind of northeast towards Lardra, southeast towards the Doridian Empire, or if you want, you can go west towards Furrow.
I think we'll leave
Anything
it
that's
to
got
that. What
Empire
we
in
feel
the
like on the
title,
day. Let's avoid
leave.
empires.
Not go there.
Not down for
agree.
some empires, yeah.
Well, I mean that's good because I know you haven't been, but that technically means you've been listening because it was. I can't remember which NPC said it was basically Doridian Empire. If you went into that country, you would get embroiled in a war.
Yeah, exactly.
And there is part of me
Perhaps I'll do
that really wants to put you all into siege warfare. Kind of want to
Not
put you
really,
into
yeah.
siege warfare.
Maybe level 10.
Maybe level 10. But yeah, no, we can go up to Lardra. If I remember rightly, what did I write
What
for
type
Lardra?
of land is that?
Mountainous.
Sea, forest,
So you've
tundra,
got a few different biomes for that.
weed. There's
plus-
always weed in the mountains.
Plus, if you go kind of up towards the northern Lardra, then you can kind of go towards Trossland, which is kind of a bit more like Finland. So cool and foresty, but that's quite very far north. But yeah, I can start building out Lardra, and I can get some more cities in there and find a little bit of story.
I'm up for that if the rest of the guys are up for it.
As long as it's west.
We ain't had a snow land
East.
yet. A snow level. Ain't done a snow level.
So yeah, basically you need to move your way towards the east of the continent, and then you find your way across the sea to High Dawn. You've got 1, 2, 3, at the very least 3 countries to get through.
That's 3 seasons, guys.
3 seasons of content. So yeah, I'm quite excited to see what I can write in this for you and see what I can put you through.
You're gonna get bored of seeing white snow on your maps. Very fast.
Not all of it's snowy, just some bits of it.
Do you know what? We haven't been in a cave in ages, guys. Think about it.
Should I do you a cave? You know what I haven't done for you? A swamp.
Or a
swampy
beach.
swamp.
You know,
Well,
Beach. No more
We
sand.
don't want swamps.
Larger's
Get out of my
landlocked,
swamp.
unfortunately. So
A big lake
Ice.
with a beach.
I was
we could
watching
do
a
that.
documentary on ice swamps this week. Some Russian ice swamps. They're the most interesting things ever. Cold ice on the top, but the water's actually warm underneath. What a crazy bit of nature that is.
might write that in somewhere.
There you go. Ice swamps.
I'm also very, very, very conscious that, and I kind of realized this when I was editing episode 29. I haven't really allowed you guys to kind of sit and just kind of like role play.
Chat.
Like we're getting these moments of role play as I'm pushing you forward in the story. So I think part of season 3.
You're throwing us into battles.
Of course I do. Well, I'm going to try and make an effort within season 3, kind of when you're in Lardra, to have moments where you can just kind of sit and talk as characters. Because realistically, you've all spent about 2 months together at this point. But there hasn't really been any situation where you've all had a good chat.
We just need to stop killing things first.
I mean, you've murdered your way across 2
Stig
countries
fell.
so far.
Stamping his way through a town.
I feel like the circus troupe's not going to work that much any longer because we're going to get a name for ourselves.
Well, that's also something, and this may be something to put out to the listeners, but I think the group does need a name.
Yeah, that's true. An adventurer's name. Let the listeners decide. Let the patrons decide.
I'm not going to let you be the modern escapists, as you called your circus troupe. But yeah, I think you know like Vox Machina, the Mighty Nine, people like that. You know, you need a group name. I think. So if any of the listeners or any of the
Troubles.
Maybe the patrons or the listeners want to just fire us a little note or hit us up on Twitter and just let us know, what will be a good name for this.
If you're not
vagabonds.
a patron and you're listening to this and you send proof that you've actually 5-starred this podcast, maybe we'll allow you to name as well.
What's a group of sheep called?
You what?
Sheeps.
What's a group of sheep? Like, is it a flock? Flock of sheep?
Flock. It's flock, yeah. We're not being the flock.
One of the flockers.
Flock you.
Mother flockers. Let them decide.
Oh, but if you're a flock, then I'm just going to start calling you a flock of seagulls.
Yeah.
And I'll just start describing you all with stupid haircuts.
I've got a stupid haircut anyway.
Same.
So yeah, so can had your highlights? Is it what are you all kind of looking forward to for season 3? What do you want to do with your characters?
I think a bit more character growth. Like you said, it's been a really action-packed season this season, but there hasn't been much, like you said, sort of bonding as a team and character growth. Like in the first season, there was a lot for sort of all of us.
Yeah.
We all had our own arcs.
Don't actually know a lot about each other.
My character's been a lot less mischievous this season out of battle.
Yeah. Most of his mischief has been in
changed
battle.
big style. And it's mainly because, obviously, the loss of his brother and Mr. Graves being there. He's been very subdued, been very quieter than usual. Like, you remember the first season, he was off his nut. He was just doing whatever he wanted to because he didn't expect to be long with this group. And I think when you start accepting your fate, and he does actually believe in Stigveld's quest now. Which I think that's a bit of growth for that character. He does actually want to see it through to its conclusion.
Yeah, I think what I've tried to seed like ideas for each of the characters. So like we had the revelation this last episode of like the 2 seals that are needed for Brindril, which gives kind of Stigveld a tangible motivation for something, not just to go and kill Ragus or to kill Dane or whatever, but it's like, here are some objects I can secure that means I have the upper hand. Capri's had all this stuff seeded about her past, and it's where she needs to go is like a couple of countries over in Draenia. And that's
I think we should naturally head that way then.
Yeah, well that's kind of eastward. It's generally eastward, so it's like it's on the path. But there's plenty of opportunity to like maybe try and explore her memories and try and get her to remember stuff. Yeah. I think Treble had a lot in season 2. He had a lot in season 1, but he definitely had a lot in season 2 because obviously there was a lot of the Sebastian Graves stuff. And
he can have a back seat for a while, just because remember his ultimate goal is to write the biggest epic song ever, isn't it? That's what this quest is for him.
I think the main
sit back and observe for a while.
Yeah, I think the main thing Treble's had is the Lunar Lute, which he needs to sit down and learn how to play.
Yes.
And Calbo,
that's why he hasn't written a song this season because he daren't use it.
And with Calbo, I think Calbo's been given a new role because he's the only one that can control the ship. So I don't know if that comes into his own character development or his own purpose, but I think right now that makes Calbo quite important because he's the one that can get you over vast amounts of distance quite quickly.
I still envision Calbo crashing the ship into a mountain.
Oh yeah, there will be checks.
Yeah, I bet there will.
And bear in mind at the minute the Dreadbeat is damaged, so you're not going to be able to do huge hops at any given time. You're going to have to get it repaired somewhere.
I just imagine this ship not lasting another 2 seasons, personally.
There's a part of me that's worried it won't last 2 episodes.
Yeah, exactly.
I can command this piece of wood now.
Oh yeah, you crash the ship and you just end up walking through a forest in Larger with a piece of wood floating next to you. That's the only bit of the ship that survived.
My trusty plank.
So yeah. I've got some interesting ideas. Now, at some point, I do need to bring kind of Dane and the Triumvirate back into it because ultimately they are the big bads of this campaign.
If you think about it, from a DM standpoint, they'll have heard about all this shit.
Oh yeah. Well, the Triumvirate were in Delo's Rest.
Yeah, they'll have seen all the and when there's trouble, there's treble.
Wait.
Hey.
Maybe that's your group name, Treble's Troublemakers.
No.
The Treblemakers.
He's taking a back seat. I think because if it were named after a character, because the main quest is about Stigveld, it's his journey, innit?
Ultimately, it's all of your journeys. Like Stigveld's got like the direct narrative connection to it, but he can't do it without the rest of you. And that's the thing.
That's very true.
And obviously, also this season as well, you had the big reveal that Proserpine is Bryndrailth.
Dragon.
Proserpine is the soul of the big fucking dragon that you don't want to wake up.
Dragapine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm worried about Proserpine in the end. What happened?
I have noticed that Capri's not been as close to the cat since that revelation.
I mean, it's just
scared
that we
of it.
kept getting split up, didn't we? So I don't think it's that so much.
Yeah, I think you
And
haven't
also, I
spent
think
much
she's
time
still
with
trying to
Proserpine.
protect him a little bit because she saw him get hurt the season before.
Yeah, but
I've actually
Bike mice
enjoyed.
are outside my house.
I've enjoyed the DM's writing. Really, just the story pathways.
Oh, why don't you
and the
fucking kiss
creatures.
his ass some more just because you got a boat out of it?
No, but it's true though, isn't it? It's we do the role
Got his
play and all that
airship,
kind of
has he?
stuff, but
I wind.
he is still trying to create that world and what's happening when we have our little moments and stuff. Yeah, it's really cool.
I was going to say,
Enjoying it.
you say it's my right, and about 80% of this podcast is me making it up on the spot, dealing with whatever bullshit you lot are throwing at me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's what I mean. It works. Well, I think it's working anyway.
There has been quite a few times I really have had to make it up on the spot. When the whole thing when Stigveld killed the guy who betrayed you early on. That was
Jester.
Jester. That was it. Yeah.
Alison.
Yeah. When you kill Jester, that entire thing, like that, threw out all the plot I'd written. Because
You didn't speak for like 5 minutes after he'd done that. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It was like
I had to think of a new plot on the spot. because the whole intention was that you would capture Jester. Or what I'd written effectively was that you get Jester. Jester would give you the information that Nesonth was at the Thieves Guild. And then you would get to do like a hitman-y kind of infiltration thing to get information out of Nesonth. But then you would also end up meeting Fort Carver out of it. But no, you just killed everything.
That's what he does.
Do you know what I have? I don't know how you
But Fort Carver was going to be your key towards getting to Dane. That was the original narrative.
I don't know how you're
intention.
going to do this going into next season, because the first season we did have a lot of like callbacks to it in the second season because there were like Nesomp and stuff like that. It feels like there's no one left apart from the Triumvirate that's linked to those seasons now.
You've got the Triumvirate.
This is like this is a fresh season.
Yeah, you got the Triumvirate and you've got Oropan, and that's about it.
Yeah. It's
I know
fucking wild, man.
Gadget didn't
Killed
enjoy it as
everything.
much, but still one of my favourite highlights was the Scottish accents in the dungeon because we were just losing it, cracking up. And I know he laughed at first, but you could tell he was getting well done. It was even funnier that way.
I was trying to give you a dramatic, tense sequence, and I've got Candy going, "Oh no!" at the top of her voice.
You've learned for
And then
next time.
Stiggy goes,
Don't put that
"It's
much
been a
effort in."
murder." That was it.
That was the final nail in the coffin. It's been a murder.
Like I'd spent hours doing like 3 levels of maps for you to work your way through. And it's just pissed off.
Just put less effort in, mate. You'll be fine.
Where it's like
More
at
to
the
come.
point we get to like the middle floor, and I described that this is like it's like a swimming pool of bodies that have all had their heads punctured because it's illithids and that's what they do. And the first thing is, so Treble's just going to jump into it. I'm like, what? No, I'm just going to have a look through the bodies. So you've jumped into a 10-foot deep pool. There you go. You're stuck there now. I nearly lost my temper with you all then because it's just like,
I know.
all the episodes are funny. I want it to give you horror.
We can't be trusted.
No, I mean, to be fair, we did Alien RPG, and you still pissed around with trying to give you a scary. Then, nah, don't work. I can't. Yeah, you lot aren't to be trusted with horror. Anyway, so at the end of the last episode as well, you all leveled up.
We did.
I'm trying to decide which one I want.
Okay, well, we'll come.
You're still thinking?
Well, we'll come to
so many options.
We'll come to Stig last then. Oodles. What's Treble getting now that he's up at level 8?
One spell.
Yeah.
But his HP is now 51.
Ooh.
He's a little hardy bastard, isn't he?
Oh, he is. He could take a hit. I mean, to be fair, he took a massive hit from the body monster in the last episode.
Yeah, the Giga Slap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've decided. I was very close, and I've gone against this because I think it's in bad taste. I had a choice of just doing some necromancy.
Ooh.
But he's not to be trusted with that kind of sacred art.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, Treble should
not sacred art.
Treble should not have heretical arts.
No, definitely not. Definitely
it does allow him to make his own friends, though.
Yeah. But so instead, I've gone with polymorph. It's happening.
Oh,
it's
polymorph.
Happening. It's happening. So for people that don't know, Gadget obviously knows. This spell transforms a creature that you can see within range, which is 60 feet. Which is all right for Treble, that.
It's most of the maps I make, to be fair.
Yeah, an unwilling creature must make a wisdom saving throw to avoid the effect. The spell has no effect on a shape changer or a creature with 0 hit points, obviously. The transformation lasts for the duration of the battle or until the target drops to 0 hit points and dies. The new form can be any beast whose challenge rating is equal to or less than the target or the target's level if it doesn't have a challenge rating. The target's game statistic, including mental ability scores, are replaced by the statistics of the chosen beast. It retains its alignment and personality. Simply put it, I could turn a dragon into a frog if it works.
Yeah, you could do.
If it works. And then Stigvel can stand on said frog. And the frog will have frog HP.
Even I can take that out.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you could.
Polymorph can be really overpowered in certain situations, but it also...
It's a one-use spell. It's literally my ice level spell.
Yeah, you get 1 use per long rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very powerful spell, but it can also cause many shenanigans.
Yeah, because it could go completely wrong, and I could accidentally turn Calbo into a butterfly. And other things.
If you happen to do like natural ones when rolling against that, then I will just fire it on the rest of the team.
That's what it warns me about. It's a proper double-edged sword, but it's akin to Candy's summon demon.
Yeah,
it would have worked had I planned a bit better.
Oh, I'd forgotten about the summon demon. That was an incredible moment. Where it comes up, you get control of it for one turn, and then you lose control entirely, and it turns on you.
I mean, it doesn't have to work like that. I was just unlucky, I think. Had it been a smaller environment, I think I would have managed to control it a bit better. But I lost control on the first go, and then I just lost my confidence in every single battle since. I'll just Eldritch Blast stuff and stay out of the way.
I think for this polymorph as well, for the narrative of Treble just being able to do that, I think I need to not use it straight away and have it linked towards this lunar heart, maybe whispering sweet nothings into my ear. I just don't think his character could just, I can do this now. I feel like I've got to weave it in somehow.
Yeah, well, with the whole thing with the lunar loot as well, so that because I had Graves explain it to you, or I explained it to you as Graves. It has 4 abilities, so you know one of them, which is the waterbending one.
Yes,
but
I know that.
You have to basically, for long rests, you have to sit and learn them. So
and I've not done it yet, have I?
No, you've not even picked the fucker up. So what would be happening from in the next season is when you do take long rests, when you're camping or when you're in inns or whatever, you sit down, you sit and start playing it, and then we roll a couple of intelligence checks. Do you learn it enough to learn the piece of music? I've got all the spells written for it, but you don't know them yet, effectively.
Yeah, I just don't want to rely on this polymorph. It's my nuclear option. That's what it is.
Yeah, and it has the potential to go wrong as well, because if whatever you're firing it against saves, it's useless. You've wasted your 4th level spell slot.
Exactly.
Whereas
they're going to be very angry at me.
Yeah. Whereas you could use your 4th level spell slot to do something offensive at a higher level.
Work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, that's Treble has now gone into the mystical arts or whatever polymorphs classed as.
Excellent. The tomfuckery art.
The tomfuckery. There he is. He's a brown wizard now.
Excellent. Biggie, what did you get at level 8?
My HP is now gone up to 51.
Yay.
Same as mine.
And, I had the option of putting a couple of things, a couple of ability scores up, but I decided to take the option for feat instead.
Right.
And that list is massive, as Stig can attest to, as well as Capri. So I'm going with lucky because I need it in my battles.
Yeah, you do.
So there's a lot of other great stuff in there that's really useful, but I think personally for my character, I need a bit of luck. So
you're getting luck.
It says here. It says you have inexplicable luck that seems to kick in at just the right moment. You have 3 luck points. Whenever you make an attack roll, an ability check, or saving throw, you can spend 1 luck point to roll an additional D20.
Love it.
Wow, that's powerful.
Love it.
You can choose to spend 1 of your luck points after you roll the die, but before the outcome is determined, you choose which of the D20s is used for the attack roll, ability check, or saving throw.
Love it.
And it can also use it when an attack is made against you. Roll a d20 and then choose whether the attack uses the attacker's roll or yours.
Okay, so it's not additive. It's basically it's like you get the option to roll at advantage. You roll a second dice and see. Hopefully, it's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. If more than one creature
Always
spends a
don't need
luck
that in
point to
combat.
influence the outcome of a roll, the point cancels each other out. No additional dice. Okay, that's fair enough. Cool. No, that'll be useful for you because rolls are your big issue.
Yeah, a few of the stats have gone up, like by 1 point here and there along the way. Yeah, I think that's the main thing, really.
No, I mean that will be helpful for you in the long run because that
Everything's coming up, Calbo.
well that can affect everything because it's it is saving rolls, it's attack rolls, so it gives them a lot of options.
Roll not to die, all those kind of things.
Not to crash the
It
ship.
doesn't affect death saving rolls though. So if you are dying, then you still have to roll those naturally. You can't use a luck point in a
And
death
there
save.
we are.
There we are. Crashing back down to earth.
Hopefully I won't need to be in that situation because my luck would have helped me anyway.
This is your season, mate. I can feel it. I can feel it.
Okay, Candy. What's happening with Capri?
Well, so my HP has gone up to 59, and coincidentally, I also chose Lucky as my feat.
Oh.
Mostly to try and get control of that summon greater demon, because I think I could use some luck with that. Because obviously this has scarred me. I keep going back to that, but that was just awful. That was a real low light.
It was hilarious.
I've got a new spell, and until the last episode, I'd chosen completely different. I am going to be going into necromancy.
Oh.
You goth.
I know. Well, because I did that big mamma jamma damage in the last battle, I got a taste of that. So
Yeah,
so what I was going to choose was a summon a shadow, which you can kind of use as, it's basically like a shield, essentially. There's a couple of attacks it can do. But I'm going with Blight instead. And this is necromantic energy washes over a creature of your choice that you can see within range, draining moisture and vitality from it. The target must make a constitution saving throw. The target takes 8d8 necrotic damage on a failed save.
Up to
Or half as
64
much
damage.
So, say it again.
Up to 64 damage.
Yeah. Or half as much on a successful save, so it will still do damage anyway. But the spell has no effect on undead or constructs.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh
you
no, we're at the Undead Mountain.
Don't you dare, Gadget, don't you dare.
Welcome to Undead Land. Make your own friends.
If you target a plant or creature or magical plant, the saving throw with disadvantage and the spell deals maximum damage to it. If you target a non-magical plant that isn't a creature, such as a tree or shrub, it doesn't make a saving throw. It simply withers and dies. I don't think I'm going to be attacking that many plants, but I
Okay,
wouldn't read that far down anyway
It's
when
a
I cast
weird,
it. So.
weird thing for them to specify, but all
So,
right.
yeah, oddly specific, isn't it?
I like
and I
it.
think
though.
If you
when I level up, I can...
magical plant, you're going to go back to Oakensnall and fuck his day up or something like that?
Oh, I could do, couldn't I?
Ooh.
But I think before we record the next one, I've got a bit of time. I think I can change some of my cantrips, can't I? Whilst when I level up.
Yeah. You're welcome to swap your cantrips around.
Yeah, I'm keeping the Eldritch Blast. I'm going to have a look at the character sheet and...
Incidentally, you already had a necromancy. Vampiric Touch is on your character
Oh, that's
sheet.
right. Yeah, that's right.
That's a necromancy.
So I'm going full on Necromancer. But yeah, I'm going to have
it. Everyone's dancing.
I check something in my list here under skills. I've got acrobatics, athletics, and then there's a third choice, and it's choose a musical instrument or artisan's tools.
You're not
Does
bad.
any of that make any difference?
It's that's more for the role play. Like if you want artisan's tools, if Calbu happens to like playing music or doing great art,
Maybe we could record a song. Me and you. You can rap.
Well, I originally had drum, but obviously it's never getting used for anything. So I'm just wondering, there's things like cartographer's tools in here, carpenter's tools. And
do you want to make
There's a
shelves
whole-
or do you want to
Look.
make maps or?
I don't want to put thoughts in your mind, but you are the captain of a boat now, and carpentry would be fucking good for that.
That would be helpful when it comes to repairs.
can you change it though?
I'll let you change it if
Because
you
it was
want.
already chosen when we first started, so I don't know. if you can
I'll tell you what.
change this or not.
Seeing as you've never used the ability to drum, I'll let you change it this once.
Oh.
Cool. Carpenter tools it is.
You're a monk, a captain, and a carpenter. They walk into a bar. It sounds like a joke, doesn't it?
It does.
I also
No.
sound like Jesus from you mentioning that.
He doesn't look a thing like Jesus, but he talks like a gentleman.
And he looks like a dragon.
Like you remember when you were young. Anyway, Stig. What's happening with Stigveld? Has he got an extra biceps on his biceps?
The same as Biggie's, really. I got to choose either increase some ability points or choose a feat. So I've been looking at feats. Just so many, and I'm just trying to figure out. I've come to the choice of 3.
Okay.
1, savage attack. Once per turn, you can roll damage for a melee attack weapon. You can re-roll the weapon's damage and use either.
Okay.
Great weapon fighting. You can roll if you roll a 1 or a 2 on damage for attack. You can make with a melee. You can re-roll it. So if I do like a shit roll, I can re-roll it for higher damage. The weapon must have the 2-hand, obviously. Okay. I think I might go with tough. Your hit point maximum increases by an amount equal to twice your level when you gain this feat. Whenever you gain a level thereafter, your hit point maximum increases by an additional 2 hits. So that takes my total health from 61 to 77.
I was going to say that adds 16 HP to you.
Yeah.
Tank.
It's
Tanky,
nuts.
tanky, tank.
Yeah, I'd go for that. That seems. I mean,
I would.
I mean, given you that despite having a monk in the team, you are the front liner. You're the one who has no ranged attacks, who has to go in and hit hard,
Yeah. That's
and
what
you
I was
also
thinking,
tank
that-
the most damage.
And when you
Yeah.
play RPGs and you're a melee class, you always put HP up first. I do anyway.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense for Stigveld.
Do you know, actually, when I was looking at other stuff that I can do, as per the rest of this podcast that we've been doing for over a year now, there are things that I can do which I haven't, and just things like just one of my things in actions in combat is I can interact with an object. I was just reading this now. So when I draw
I can.
when I withdraw a potion, it doesn't use an action.
Yeah.
I can just do it.
All right.
But I've been doing it as an action. So if I use a potion, or if I draw or sheathe a sword, or if I ever use one, that I can just do that.
Yeah.
Without
Yeah,
it
my
using an
character can
action.
do that too.
Yeah, and I've just not been taking advantage of it at all. Like having potions, I've not used them because I'm like, I don't want to use an action up for that. And there it is. I've not been using it.
Yeah, so interact with an object. So here's a few examples of sort of things you can do in tandem with your movement action. Draw, sheath a sword, open or close a door, withdraw a potion from your backpack, pick up a dropped axe, take a bauble from a table, remove a ring from your finger, stuff food in your mouth, plant a band on the ground, yada, 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 yada. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I am going to be enforcing a few more of the rules in Season 3. Because so as we've been playing this, like, the whole thing was like when we started playing it, like back at the Prisoner Hoop, we were all really fucking new to this game, and there are a lot of rules to D&D. So I've kind of been streamlining a lot of it. But some of the things have gotten to the point where you're getting a little bit overpowered. So I think I need to pull some of the rules back into it slightly. The big one,
powered, really?
Well, the precise one is
What's happened to me?
I'm going to bring in levels of exhaustion, which is to balance Stigveld effectively, because Frenzy gives a barbarian a third attack per round, effectively. But what it should do is it should be counted with a level of exhaustion, which I haven't been doing. But it means that, in a big fight, the first thing that Stig does is goes into rage, goes into frenzy, and there's no downside to it for it.
Only when the rage ends, though. So I can still keep that throughout the whole fight. It's only if my rage ends that I suffer one level of exhaustion.
Well, yeah, but we also haven't been counting when your rage should end, because your rage usually...
I have 10 goes of rage. Never really get through 10 goes, do we?
No, there are things that can knock you out of rage.
Yeah, I have to be knocked out.
If you're knocked out, I think in some conditions it can be a certain amount of damage as well can take you out.
Your rage ends early if you are knocked unconscious, or if your turn ends and you haven't attacked.
Yeah, actually, if your turn ends and you haven't attacked a hostile creature, that's the one we haven't been keeping track of.
When I've missed swings.
when you've missed. Well, no, because it's fine if you miss, because that counts as an attack. But when you've had to move back to heal or something like that, that would end your rage, and you'd have to spend it again to get it going. But yeah, so exhaustion basically makes frenzy. It makes it more of a situational thing, because your first level of exhaustion basically means you have to roll disadvantage on your attacks, and it gets to the point where you get to third level of frenzy, and you're basically a vegetable at that point. You're that tired. So it's something that there's going to be a couple of more rules I put into it that'll just balance out a few things. We're still not going to do encumbrance, because that's a bullshit rule that nobody likes, and I'm not going to track ammo because nobody can be bothered to do that.
Good.
Yeah, I was going to say that really only affects Oodles, doesn't it?
No, on Capri.
No, I've got my crossest bow.
Yeah,
he's got crossest bow.
You're the only one without a ranged attack.
You don't use your boomerang enough.
You don't have alcohol on me.
You can still use it.
But you can just still use it as a weapon. It always comes back.
Well,
limited ammo.
But whenever I roll, I can't do anything. That's why I got flustered in the last fight, because I never get past the bit where I have to do damage.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So yes, I think that's pretty much everything. Anything else anyone wants to bring up before we put a pin in this one?
Yeah. If you've been listening to this, obviously Gadget puts a lot of work into this, and we spend hours doing an episode and stuff. Some weeks you won't even notice, but we'll do 2 in a row, which is 4 hours.
Yeah.
I want people to just fucking review it, man. Push it down that chart.
Up the chart.
Up the chart.
Is it not down? You want to go down, don't you, to number 1?
No, you want to go up to number 1.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm drunk.
Yes. If people could leave us some 5-star reviews, that would be absolutely lovely. But yeah, that's kind of going to be it for now. This is the end of kind of season 2. We've done more level ups.
Name the fellowship.
Yeah, we need a name for this group of ragtag idiots. You can even rename the Dreadbeat if you want. If you've got a good idea for a boating name.
Oh yeah, because new captain, new name.
New captain can change the name if he wants.
Yeah, he can.
But yes, they're going to be flying east into the next country.
Into the undead mountains.
I mean, possibly into the mountains, depending on how Calbo flies. But yeah, come back in a few weeks' time. I'm not sure the precise date when things will come out, but I've got a one-shot with some guests in for a mid-season special. Something a bit lighter, something a bit less dramatic, something a bit stupider. I think that's what I'm aiming for.
One of them's Matt Mercer.
I mean, he's as good as it. It's some good guests.
Gadget,
These ones.
you wouldn't be able to speak if he were on this car.
No, I'd just be drooling on the microphone. Yeah, but so some really top tier guests that we've got coming on to do that one. And then so in early October we'll be back with season 3, and you get to see what happens with these idiots and where they happen to go and what they happen to try and kill.
Idiots.
Let's face it. You're going to try and kill things.
Of course.
Badly.
I want
See how
to
far I
be
can get
put
without
in more
killing
like stupid situations, like the silly side quests you go on in RPGs. That why am I doing this? Because it's fun.
Why are we collecting 10 pelts?
I do have
Chasing a goat.
I do have a couple of silly side quests set up. I might send you on just a little kind of introductory side quest to get things going, as because we'll be in person when we record that as well. So maybe it needs to be something a bit daft to get us going in season 3. Yes.
And the party decide to play a game of spin the bottle.
Not in person.
They end up naked.
The party decides to play a tabletop role-playing game about people in the future who sit around looking at glowing screens.
Yeah.
Just get really meta with it. Anyway, yes. Oh no. Thank you for listening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed season 2, and we'll be back very shortly with season 3 and the mid-season specials, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. So thank you all for listening, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.